Ever just stop and think about all the little things that make our daily lives, well, possible? The food in your fridge, the phone in your hand. Our world is literally built on layers of genius. But what about the architects of our modern lives who we've never even heard of? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and put them right in the spotlight.
So, let me start with a question for you. What is the one thing that connects fresh food in the dead of winter, a perfectly cool concert hall on a summer night, and the very cell phone you might be holding right now? I'm going to bet the answer is not what you're thinking.
The connection is a handful of brilliant, unsung inventors. These are the minds who are working behind the scenes, solving huge problems and paving the way for technologies we totally take for granted today. So let's dive into the stories of these incredible hidden figures.
First up, we're starting with a true self-made genius, a man named Frederick McKinley Jones. And let me tell you, his work completely changed how we all eat and live. You know, Jones's story, it was not an easy one. He faced incredible hardship from a really young age and even had to drop out of school. But he had this unquenchable thirst for knowledge. He would just watch mechanics, read every book he could get his hands on, and basically taught himself the entire language of machines. So after serving in World War I, he ends up in Minnesota, and right away his mind latches onto a local problem. Doctors couldn't get through the crazy deep snow to see their patients. Now for most people, that's just winter. You deal with it. But for a mind like Jones, it was a problem that was just begging for a solution.
And this is where you really see his genius shine. He didn't just find a simple workaround, he invented a whole new kind of vehicle. He literally took an old airplane body, slapped some skis on it, attached a propeller, and created a snow machine that could zip doctors around town. Now that is some serious hands-on ingenuity.
But around this time, he also learned a really hard lesson. He invented a portable X-ray machine, another potential game changer, but he never patented it. And, as the quote says, he had to just stand by and watch as other people made a fortune off of his idea. It was a painful mistake for sure, but one he was not going to make again.
And that experience, it led him directly to his masterpiece. A business partner came to him with a problem. How do you get fresh food from point A to point B without it spoiling? Jones's answer was the Thermo King, a tough automatic refrigeration unit that could be mounted on a truck. This wasn't just a small improvement, it was a total revolution.
And believe me, Jones was no one-hit wonder. This guy was a patent machine. He secured over 60 patents in his lifetime, and we're not just talking about one field either. His inventions ranged from parts for movie projectors to ticket dispensing machines. The man's mind was just firing on all cylinders. But it was pretty clear where his passion was. A whopping 40 of those patents were for refrigeration technology alone. He didn't just invent the Thermo King, he spent years perfecting it, adapting it, and becoming the absolute master of mobile cooling. So what's the big picture impact here? Honestly, it's almost impossible to overstate. He basically created the modern grocery store and the entire frozen food industry. His tech was used to transport life-saving blood serum during World War II. He also broke racial barriers in his professional field. I mean, what a legacy! Absolutely worthy of the National Medal of Technology.
All right, so for our next story, let's switch gears a bit. We're going from a self-taught innovator to a different kind of genius, one whose path was paved through academic excellence. Meet David Nelson Crossweight Jr., an engineer who mastered the invisible world of heating and cooling.
So where Jones was this incredible self-taught mechanic, Crossweight was an academic powerhouse right from the start. His parents and teachers saw his potential early on, and he ended up earning a full scholarship to Purdue University. Not only that, he graduated at the top of his class, setting the stage for a truly amazing career.
And this was the project that put him on the map. He was given the monumental task of designing the heating system for New York's legendary Radio City Music Hall. I mean, just try to imagine that for a second. The enormous size of the space, thousands of people inside, keeping that place comfortable was a huge engineering challenge. Crossweight's system was so groundbreaking, it basically made him a legend in his field overnight. But he was so much more than just the Radio City Music Hall guy. Just look at these numbers. He held 39 patents in the US, and get this, a staggering 80 international patents for all kinds of innovations in heating, cooling, and temperature regulation. The man's impact was truly global.
Okay, for our final story, let's jump forward in time right into the digital age we're all living in. Let's talk about Jesse Russell, one of the key architects of the phone you have in your pocket right now.
You know, it's wild how one single moment can change everything. As a teenager, Jesse Russell was actually way more focused on sports than he was on school. But then he attended a summer program at Fisk University, and it was like a switch flipped. It ignited this intellectual fire in him that set him on a path to literally change how the world communicates.
And from that point on, his rise was just meteoric. He became the first African-American ever hired by the legendary AT&T Bell Labs straight from a historically black college. He then quickly got his master's from Stanford. By 1980, he was named the best young electrical engineer in the entire country. All of this was building toward his most important patent in 1992.
So, what was this huge patent all about? Well, it was for something called the Digital Cellular Base Station. Now, I know that sounds super technical, but here's what it means for you. It's the invention that allowed us to go from those clunky analog car phones to the powerful, clear digital service that connects billions of us today. It's a really big deal.
And just like the other incredible innovators we've talked about, Russell's genius wasn't just a single flash of brilliance. He holds over 100 patents, continuing to pioneer the very technologies that would lead to things like 4G and all the cloud services our phones depend on every single day.
Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and bring this all together. We've got 3 different men from 3 different eras, but they all share one powerful legacy of innovation that touches every single one of us every single day. When you really connect the dots, their impact is just crystal clear. The next time you walk through the refrigerated aisle in a grocery store, think of Frederick McKinley Jones. The next time you're comfortable in a massive theater or stadium, think of David Nelson Crossway Jr. And the next time you send a text or make a call, think of Jesse Russell. Their work isn't just in a museum, it's the invisible architecture of our modern lives.
And that really brings us to a final, really important question. These 3 incredible stories were basically hidden in plain sight. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Whose world-changing contributions have we just not discovered yet? Whose stories are still out there, just waiting for us to tell them?